Alrighty, welcome everyone. I'm Teeaboo, and I am here once more for Haruhi Suzumiya. We're on the rewatch. I skipped a week because of reasons, and I'm still a little bit loopy from my second Moderna shot 2 days ago. I think the nanobots are just having trouble taking hold in my brain because I drink too much tea. That's probably what's going on here. It makes a lot of sense. No, but we're here for Haruhi Suzumiya. We watched 3 episodes last time and found out that Ryoko Asakura is a member of the fucking Intelligence Integrated Thought Entity. Had a big fight there. That was crazy. Sought out some closed space stuff, and then had Day of Sagittarius, where we fought the computer club for more computers in their own computer game. And completely cheated. Because, how else do you get ahead in life? Now we are on to, it would be Bamboo Leaf Rhapsody next, but we're not doing that. Instead, we're watching Melancholy 5 and 6. This finishes off the actual Melancholy arc and gives us, like, the whole arc of the Haruhis. And then we will finish off season 1 as it is with Bamboo Leaf Rhapsody. That might be today, that might be next time. Probably today, but we'll give it a chance. From my distant recollection, I remember the end of the actual Melancholy arc, I think, being the part that actually made me fall in love with this show and fall in love with these characters. There's a sequence in these episodes that I'm sure we'll see relatively soon where Haruhi talks about her childhood and a conversation with her father, and a particular incident with her father that has really, truly stuck with me for a long, long time and is something that I genuinely think about on a relatively regular basis. So I'm excited to see that again and see how it holds up and whether it has the same impact on me that it did so many years ago and a couple times since. Yeah, we're going to watch Melancholy's 5 and 6. They are listed as episodes 13 and 14 of season 1, which is just not true, but it's also true. That's what we're going to watch. Let's have some fun and watch some Haruhi. I've got episode 13, aka Melancholy 5, up and ready to go. It's at 0 seconds. There will be 2 versions. You can find a picture-in-picture version with the video up there, linked in the description down there, and a timer-based version up on YouTube. If you want to do a sneaky thing, sync up your own copy with the timer-based version, you're welcome to do so. Get your copy ready because the beep beep timer to count you down is coming at you right now. Let's do this. Let's Haruhi. Oh, yes. Such a dream. For sure. Here, stop it. Get out of my face. Yeah, but is it? I wonder, why could that be? Nope, just thinking it. Just thinking it. We're investigating. Ultra Director Haruhi I love that. Hmm. 505, not 404, because we can't find her. Hey. That's a lot of possible. Hello. Go, man. All right, get through the door. Get in the door. Go. Yeah. Ha ha! Fun cut. Yeah, and Kyon, you cannot let her find out what's actually going on. You just can't. Almost like she didn't exist before and doesn't exist anymore. How odd. Totally. The sound changes as the door opens. That's great. Investigate, investigate. Well, it is Haruhi. It's hard to refuse that girl. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's weird. Huh? Uh, yeah, weird. Almost like she didn't have anything there. Hmm. Very fishy. Exactly when incidents started occurring. Never met him. Weird. Yeah, where'd she get all that money? Fuck. Or could manifest money whenever she fucking wanted. True. Mm. Oh, whoa, 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 buddy. Yeah, thanks. I'm leaving now. Weird. Alright, bud. Thanks, Grandpa. Hmm. Oh, hi, Nagato. I mean, occasionally. Yeah. Hmm. Weird. Don't know anything. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Bye. Oh, okay. Thanks for the very unhelpful warning. I don't remember what she's telling him to be careful about, so this actually works for me. Now, what's next? Oh. Mm-hmm. Right. Hits a dead end. Cross a threshold, cross the train tracks. Classic, classic. Yes. Yes. This. This set of lines. This story. So many people. A true sense of scale. Mhm. But not even close. Does that make them less valuable or less interesting? What's wrong with ordinary? Everything. Hmm. Mhm. Mm-mm. Hmm. Oh, hi. Of course. Of course. It sure did. This is the proof. I can call a taxi anywhere I want. No. Time to go see some truth. Closed space. Mhm, mhm. Yep. Mm. Mhm. Anthropocentric view of the universe. Completely. Yes. But the idea of the observer is a powerful one. Was it? Right. Right. But that is a form of backward thinking. I agree. It's a weird analogy. Mm-hmm. So about that God thing, that's fully not an answer. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Uh-oh. Dakara. And espers. Nope. How about let's talk about 3 years ago instead? Three years ago. You mean when she entered middle school and decided to make a change? Ding. What she thinks she desires, at least. But it would also be the birth of a new world, and you would have no idea. Exactly. Dissatisfaction. Hmm. That is an interesting question. Which says that they can't. Yep. Ah, but it started getting weirder. Oh shit, thanks, man. You existed. Whoops. Whoops. God, how did they make a drive so interesting? It's because the dialogue is so interesting. Just all that was such an exposition dump. And all of it was during a fucking drive, and it was great. All right. Those all cool shots. Cool location. In the middle of the street? Sure, for you, no problem. Why not? Something's weird. Welcome to the gray world. Mm. Hmm. Mm. And time is passing. Mhm, mhm, mhm. Melancholy. Ooh, gross. He's the rationality that takes down the irrational confusion and anger. Yep. Yeah. Hello. Hello. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. This music, I remember. It reminds me a lot of the first Halo soundtrack. Nope, this is what I fucking do, fam. Ranger, Colossus Slayer. Pew! Sick. It's pretty fun. Yeah, do you believe me now? Do you believe me now? Fucking awesome. Oh, that's so cool. Sup? Hey, man. All in a day's work. Flip. Huh? Huh? Yeah. Whoosh. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Sucks. Everyone is possible. Terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. But wonderful. Mhm. Mhm. Is that end of episode? Okay. Woo! Yep, this is the episode that I remembered it to be. Oh boy. Okay. Where do we begin with this? Okay, the whole investigation thing is all an investigation thing, and it's just a thing, and it's fine. This thing we're gonna have to come back to. Uh, Post this thing, meet Itsuki, go and get the proof, and the proof in the pudding, and seeing is believing sort of situation. Um, okay, let's talk about some of the conversation. Before we talk about the conversation, I just want to mention once more that this managed to take a solid chunk of most of an episode that is all exposition and do it in a boring situation, which is driving somewhere, and make it interesting. Like this shot where this truck just slowly goes by, there's something interesting about it. I don't know what it is, but it makes me interested in the shot, and I'm also interested in what Itsuki's saying. Now, his actual speech about what he calls the Anthropic Principle and this idea of the observer and a universe that does not exist without an observer is an interesting one that's highly theoretical and blah 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 blah. Um, I believe something that's somewhat in line with this, but I'm uncertain of the implications of it in the real world. However, as a thing to explain Haruhi and her place as observer and thus creator and thus desirer of things to observe in the universe, someone who sets steady states by their very active observation, and those ripple out and manifest the fractal universe as it exists, is really intriguing as an idea, and one that I've spent a while in my own life playing with, because I do think that it's an interesting idea, and I think that if you start looking into theoretical physics and trying to understand the base nature of reality, you come to certain conclusions that are somewhat in line with these, but not entirely in line. And it's obviously a piece of fiction, but there's still stuff that's interesting to glean from it. Regardless, in the situation we have here, Itsuki genuinely believes that Haruhi has the power to create wishes and to manifest and make them come true. In the sense of the show, he means that in a very godlike power sort of way. But what I want to do is I want to take a step back from the in-show implications of this, because they are expansive, and Haruhi in the show is depicted as literally a god, and take them to a more personal and more real world sense, which is that we've talked a couple of times, not at extreme length, but as we've been going through the series, about the way that Haruhi is and her nature as a character. And some of the things that I maybe don't idolize is the word, but like I'm intrigued by certain things about the way that she acts, the way that she, on a much smaller scale, manifests wishes. So yes, her desire to meet aliens and espers and time travelers is in context the reason that the club exists and the reason all of these people are here. But also, her desire to have an interesting club allows her to manifest an interesting club. And the way that that happens is through her own actions, right? She actually does shape and alter the world around her to make her life more interesting beyond what happens that she's unconscious of. She does do conscious actions that make her life more interesting by creating the SOS Brigade. Now, those things have more ripple effects because of the genuine power of these time travelers, espers, and aliens that she brings in, but she's really doing the thing really in her real world without those powers as well, which is kind of interesting also. Okay. Universe created to accommodate human life gives us, it's a sort of a backward way of thinking, I think. I personally believe that the existence of humanity is not like foretold or fated or anything like that, and that it is simply a dramatic case of the most wonderful of cosmic coincidences. And I find there's power and interest and value in that, but that sort of feeds into the central conversation of the episode with Haruhi, which I want to step back from and be the last thing that we really talk about, because I figure I'm going to talk about it for a little bit. So I'm not sure about that. I am sure that all of these location shots, as we are just doing exposition with the vehicle and really selling the idea of driving a fairly long distance to get to a location, super cool. I also love the from above shot of this place, this particular shot. Something about the angle, the gradient light that's on here, the long shadows of people walking, just feels so fucking right for what's about to happen and so interesting. It's really cool. The way that we manifest this secondary world, this closed space, and the way that Kyon is brought into it and sees this gray world, har 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 har. I'm sorry, I couldn't help myself. Is fascinating. And also just the sort of nonchalance with which he's like, okay, you brought me somewhere weird, you're showing me some strange things, this makes sense, I guess, to an extent, maybe, sort of. The giants are cool and terrifying, and the sense of stakes that is involved in this episode, it finally starts to click, and we start to go, wait, oh shit, there's real stuff going on here that's maybe rough. I think that a huge part of why that actually feels so interesting is because of Nagato's simple, like, one-line, be careful warning as she walks by. Something about that from Nagato after she's, like, demolished Ryoko Asakura, and been a bit of a protector for a little while. She walks by and is just like, be careful. As though, you know, if she was able to influence whatever's going to happen, she would do so. So she can't, and only Kyon can, and what the fuck does that mean? Oh god. Really interesting and really cool. The actual fighting is hashtag dope as fuck. I'm going to not use hashtags because I'm speaking and I don't need to do that when I'm talking out loud, and nobody else does either. I also really like the way that the closed space opens up, and the way that this world shatters. It's interesting, and it also cements the idea that if worlds like this are just temporary and can be destroyed at a whim by Haruhi, so could our world. And it makes Itsuki's next conversation about the possibility of that happening real spooky. Okay, an extraordinary ordeal the very next day. And we come back to this conversation with Haruhi. The build up to it, I think, is fantastic as we walk past these power lines and we cross the threshold of this train. Stop here. The way we use cars going by and other stuff to break up the flow of the scene. Wait for it, wait for it, wait for it. Not Hamilton, wait for it. Now Hamilton, definitely wait for it. Sorry. And she just turns and hits us with a full existential crisis. Literally an existential crisis, one about the insignificance of your own existence on a planet, and we learn a bunch of things here. And what I mean by learn a bunch of things isn't that necessarily this is all new information. It's just the puzzle piece that we need to click into place with the rest of Haruhi's actions to understand who she is and what she's going through, which is this is an adolescent human being who, in recognizing her own smallness, her own insignificance compared to the vast sum of humanity and the vast horde of intelligent people out there. Although, to be fair, intelligent is a strong word for a lot of people out there. Sorry. But still, there are 7+ billion individual human consciousnesses on our planet, and all of them, every single one of them, has friends and well, maybe some of them don't have friends, but friends and families and dreams and goals and ideals and loves and hates and fears and pains and experiences, the whole wealth of human emotion, from the highest highs to the lowest lows. All of us are capable of that, minus those very few who are stunted in some way emotionally. Capable of feeling, capable of thinking, capable of dreaming, capable of being, capable of our incredible conscious existence, this thing that we are. All of us have that. And the particular depiction of it that she explains in this episode, how she, as a child, went to this baseball game and saw this huge stadium full of people and thought, wow, that must be all of the people in Japan, before realizing, no, that's 1/2000th of all of the people in Japan. It's nothing. And it's those 50,000 people are I think less than a 50,000th of all of the people in the world, right? Like, that's an insane revelation and an incredible revelation. But it's also the kind of revelation that makes a person feel really small and really insignificant. So who is Haruhi Suzumiya? This young high school girl. Well, she's a person coming into adolescence, realizing simultaneously her own power to control the things directly around her, and in the same moment recognizing how small her bubble of control is. And so this is a character who is flailing out for some kind of control over life and some kind of ability to actually follow her dreams and do what she needs to and have a life that's interesting. And suddenly, as she realizes how small her world is, how small all of our worlds are, you could be the most social person in the entire universe that has ever been on the planet, and you might see in your entire life from afar, if you go to like every game and concert and things, you might see maybe a little over 1 million people over the course of your entire existence. And that's nothing in the number of people in the world. The number of those people that you can actually interact with directly and physically is way smaller. Like, that's an insane revelation. Even if you have a massive platform where you use, say, the internet to talk to people, and you have thousands and thousands of subscribers, like I now do. We just crossed 25K. Hey guys, that's really cool. I get to talk to a lot of people, and that's really amazing. And I think that I've probably integrated some part of Haruhi's own like desire for existence and desire for some kind of control. And some of that in some way has manifested in my choice to create a channel where I can talk to as many people as I possibly can. But still, that is the drippiest little drop in the biggest fucking bucket. Even if I had a million subscribers, right? If I were 10 million subs, what about that? Something that will never happen for the type of niche channel that I run. The number of people that I can influence with that, somebody like Vsauce, a few million per video, most of them overlapping. Like, that's nothing. That's nothing in the scope of the world. How, like, the most powerful people in this world, presidents of the United States, whatever the current leader of China is calling themselves. I guess it's a president, but it's not really. That would probably be the largest in terms of general populace and scale. They have influence over millions and millions of people, hundreds of millions of people, and that's still small. So, in a modern world where we know that so many people exist and so many of them have their own dreams and ideas and things, and so many of those clash with each other, how do you find meaning in a life where, in large part, a lot of the greatest accomplishments of humanity seem to have already been done, right? Most of us aren't going to be well, most of us aren't going to go to the moon, but none of us are going to be the first person to go to the moon. Most of us aren't going to conquer a nation and make it better. None of us are going to conquer the entire world and make it better, or even create a platform that changes immense numbers of lives, or even create a big business that runs things. It seems like everything's been done already, and the world is set out for us and boring and sad and melancholic. There's nothing to do. What do you do in a world where simultaneously you're told that you have all the power in the world? You have access to technology that expands your reach beyond what people 50 years ago could have possibly comprehended. You look at science fiction, right? The cutting edge of what might be possible in the future from 50, 60 years ago. And it's absurd and super easy. It's like flying cars. Whee! We have the internet, baby. We have the ability to connect with each other and express our thoughts in instant transmission and instant communication over vast distances and save our ideas for future time. We have the computational capacity of millions and millions of human beings working together on single, simple supercomputers, like simple ones, not even the big ones. We have all of this power, and yet for every individual out there, our worlds are so isolated and small. This divergence in the feeling of the power that is ours and the power that we can't actually grasp is maybe enough to throw us into deep despair. And I think it does. I think for a lot of people, a lot of youths in our modern world, it does. We look at this huge world that we exist in, and we feel small, and that feeling of smallness makes us feel powerless. And that feeling of powerlessness it sucks the life out of our lives, right? I think there are answers. I think there are true, real, powerful answers to these questions. And I'm going to posit a couple of them to you. One of them is that you do the best that you can, and you throw away the idea that having an influence on lots of people matters, because it doesn't. What matters is a few. And you realize that if everybody out there also cares about the people around them, then you as an individual don't need to influence everybody. You just need to have a positive influence on the few people who are closest to you, to create a little bubble of the goodness that you put out into the world. And if more people do that, then that's a powerful thing. The amount of goodness out in the world is powerfully increased. So I think that the greatest good that I can aspire to is to be good to the people who are closest to me, and if possible, use whatever talents I have to convince other people who are not closest to me to be good to the people who are closest to them. That is, to make a YouTube channel and talk about things and hope that some of those messages get through to a few people outside of my close circle and make them make their own little circles better. I think that's the way that I can have the biggest, best influence on the world. Because unlike Haruhi Suzumiya, I am not God. But like Haruhi Suzumiya, I am not powerless either, even if I believe myself to be. And neither are you. There are another couple of answers and another couple of revelations that can stem from this revelation, this realization of smallness. One is that if you buy into the idea that your own existence is going to have the smallest impact on the future of humankind possible, 1 in a billion, right? Then you also buy into the idea that your failures have a very, very small impact too. And I find that concept to be incredibly freeing, because in our own lives, we look at our failures and, you fail to get that job, you fail to talk to somebody, you fail in an interpersonal communication and end up angry at a friend, or they end up angry at you, or blah, blah, blah. All of those things exist on a space level that is truly a closed space, and your melancholy and your terror cannot get beyond that space, because you're not Haruhi and you're not God. And so Your failures have less of an impact than you think. But your goodness can have more of an impact than you think, which I think is a powerful thing to recognize and really cool. The realization of a lack of control can be very freeing. Likewise, the realization that you do have control in a smaller space can be empowering, and I think the combination is really cool. So who is Haruhi? Haruhi is a youth growing up in a world that tells her that she has the ability to do anything, and she realizes that that's a lie. She has the ability to do anything, but wishes have limits. And the idealistic dreams that are fed to us by media, the dreams that I as a person truly love and genuinely believe in, things like a believing heart is your magic, and dreams have power, and friendship is valuable. Those, or determination matters. You find that those things don't have the reach that you expected. But guess what? They still have an impact on you and the people closest to you. So I think one of the greatest goods in the world is creating stories that as many people as possible can see, that they can then believe in, and emanate and like prismatically refract outward into their lives and into the people around them, creating little bubbles of wholesomeness that actually cause positive change for other people. And maybe I'm just an idealist and I'm trying and struggling desperately to hold on to that. But God, I wouldn't want to live any other way. I wouldn't want to believe any other way. There has to be more than this. And that right there, that belief that there has to be more than this, is precisely what drives Haruhi to create the extra, the extreme, the more interesting world. Here's the other answer, and it's kind of, in a way, the simpler answer. It's the really simple answer, and it is your common, peaceful, everyday life, when you think about it, is something that has been afforded to you by the struggles and life and death and fighting and war and blood and sweat and tears of people in the past who also thought they were small. Individual soldiers, individual politicians, individual workers, individual inventors, individual creators, individual storytellers. They are the people who have constructed the foundations of our society that allow your peaceful everyday life to continue to exist. And that means that you, as an individual inventor, creator, writer, artist, storyteller, fucking Twitter shit poster, YouTuber, anime watcher, whatever you are, or simply, in a smaller sense, friend, father, mother, brother, sister, companion, lover, person, coworker. You are one in the longest line of people living their own inconsequential lives, each of which has had consequences on the overall flow. Every tiny drop in that bucket matters to a small extent, but still matters. Maybe in the sense that disempowers people from voting where they feel like their vote doesn't matter. Maybe your individual actions don't seem to matter in the grand scale, but collectively they most certainly do. And the choices that we make as individuals are collective choices. And they're more and more powerful as we gain the ability to communicate over more distance, more accurately, more immediately, and save those ideas and those communications for the future. And as computing power increases and we're able to actually process those communications and put them together. Like, a part of the reason that I do what I do, which is, as best I can, translate my thoughts into speech that is then placed on the internet and then run through by YouTube's auto translation and auto text services, is because it is a form of odd immortality. everything that I say, so long as my YouTube channel doesn't get deleted because of copyright, everything that I say is going to exist forever. And that is interesting. I don't know if anything that I say has any importance to it, but what that means is that anyone in the future, at any point, so long as platforms like YouTube exist and so long as this content exists somewhere on a server, can find me and my truths that I have put out there into the internet, and those will exist forever. And some ultra powerful computer system 150 years from now that's reaching the near sentience might be influenced in the smallest way by the way that I interpret media. That idea gives me hope. And maybe it's false and silly and foolish and ridiculous, but in my own flailing, my own existential crisis, that was the thing that I decided was worth going all in on. It was a couple things. One, I think that I had a message that I could tell to people, and that message is that sometimes there are ideas in the information-dense format that is anime, ideas and value and power and things that can genuinely change your life in a powerful way. And so, based on my previous supposition, I think that anime is a great good in some cases. I think that stories that tell us about determination and that actually lodge in the back of our minds and give us the ability to consider determination, stories that tell us as children especially about the power of friendship and the power of ourselves to make a positive difference in the world, even if they fall flat as we become an adult, those stories have meaning and they change the way we view ourselves and the way that we view the world around us. That was the message that I wanted to explain and I wanted to explore as I started this channel, because I think that media like this, anime like this, does that thing where it has a broadish reach and it actually has an impact on people. Not on everybody. A lot of people watch shows and just tune it out. But I think even those people see certain moments and certain powerful. There are moments that get lodged in our minds when characters overcome their greatest struggles. That gives us something, and we relate to it, and we look back upon it when we ourselves are struggling and pull from it some kind of value. So if one person can come up with an idea and write a story that gives that feeling to people, or explores the feelings of loss, or explores the feelings of grief, or explores the feelings of powerlessness and flailing at a world that doesn't seem to respond to our individual actions in a way that we can actually experience and know and get feedback from. A story like Haruhi, I think that the ability to tell those stories is deeply important and is one of the most powerful things that any human being can possibly do. I don't think that I have the power to do that, at least not yet. I don't think I'm a storyteller, not quite. But I do think I have the power to talk about them and sometimes put my finger on what I find important about a show or a piece of media. And maybe, just maybe, some of the people watching me will go, oh, that lodges in the back of my brain. And maybe, just maybe, some years in the future when they're experiencing the inevitable struggles of life, their own feelings of helplessness or loss or grief or pain or struggling against an immense weight or just the everyday grind that feels like it's not meaningful, maybe that thing that lodged in the back of their mind will have some value to them. I don't know. I find meaning in shows like Symphogear and Pretty Cure. I know that's a ridiculous thing to say, but they're shows that are about communication and shows that are about broadening one person's reach and enabling the people around you. And by doing so, creating a more powerful unity of individuals who are working toward common goods for more people. I think that's powerful in some way. And I don't think Haruhi Suzumiya realizes it yet. So the thing we have here is we have a character who is dissatisfied with the world, and we know, but she doesn't know, that she does have the power to change things. And we kind of almost want to grab her by her freaking hair buns and go, Haruhi, you have the power to manifest the world that you want. You don't have to feel this melancholy. And I think that's a feeling, I know that's a feeling that I have had before, truly and directly toward people that I've known who have become melancholic in their lives, going, I feel like I'm helpless. Because you're not. You never are. But it's gonna take some fucking courage to make some leap into some endless, potentially deadly abyss to get you from where you feel like you have no power to where maybe you do. All of these things kind of wrap around, and this episode makes me realize that Haruhi, specifically this moment, this existential crisis that this character has, is integral to my own existential crisis and my own revelations that a simple everyday life can be one of the highest goods that an individual person can aspire to. And being content with that simple everyday life is one of the things that got me into meditation and particular ways of being, the radical honesty that I've practiced over the last year, which has drastically changed the way that I interact with people in my real life in the most positive way that I can possibly express to you. And the other thing is that by simply forcing myself to believe that I do have power over the course of my life, it became true. How the fuck does that make sense? I don't know, but it worked. Similarly, the concept of ownership or radical ownership, simply by taking responsibility for the things that are existing or happening within my life, the things that I might have said before have happened to me, by simply saying that they are my responsibility. I caused them to happen, even if some part of my brain goes, no, you didn't, that wasn't you. But refusing to feel guilt or shame for them, simply viewing them as either things that have occurred, good things that have occurred, or problems to solve. It's been so powerful. And at the center of it all is really this same existential crisis, this realization that I think almost every person goes through, where they hit a point of adolescence, become an adult, or move toward becoming an adult. And the world tells them, great, you're becoming an adult now. You have control over what's around you. And I'm going, I can't fucking do that. My world is not under control by me. I have no control over the world as it's happening. And I think that the sense of that gets worse and worse as communication grows. I have no control over the horrible things that are happening in Colombia right now. I don't feel like I have control over my own country's political system. I don't feel like I have control over. Nobody feels like they have control over the global pandemic, which has been causing immense issues and problems and blah 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 for millions and millions and millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of people. I don't have control in this world. And yet the world tells you, but you're an adult, you should be in control. You've got to be on a certain path. You've got to be managing your shit. You got to do your laundry and make your bed, man. You got to be in control. It's a conflict of what we're told should be expected of us and how we feel like we actually have control over the world, because we feel helpless. And I don't think that's wrong to feel helpless, but I think it's a matter of the way we idolize heroes, I think, has something to do with it. A lot of our heroes are big heroes, right? And I think that's a part of the reason that in the last couple of decades, superhero movies have become the popular thing in American cinema. Because we desperately wish for these kinds of grand stories where one person can save the world, right? All of the Marvel films have Tony Stark saving the day and Captain America saving lives. But then we hit a point where just saving the day doesn't make sense, and we get these different movies where those superheroes end up feeling really helpless. They have all the power and all of the potency and all of the divine strength of anyone. The power to wield thoughts and telekinesis and super armor and whatever. And they go up against things that are bigger than them and they fail. That kind of storytelling, I feel, embodies a lot of the common feeling of our own power over this world. We desperately wish to be and to have those heroes who can make dramatic changes, and yet we feel so helpless and small, stuck in a sea of endless people, all of whom are also trying to be their own heroes, and none of whom have real superpowers. So what do we do with that idea? How do we content ourselves with an everyday existence? How do we exist knowing that we'll probably be forgotten? And maybe, just maybe, won't have even a major impact on those people closest to us. I think the answer is to struggle to have as positive an impact on as many people as you possibly can, and to find a way, first off, to know yourself well enough to know what your skills are, because those skills, not superpowers, they are superpowers. If your skill is speaking, do that. If your skill is, for me, mine, the ones that I chose were speaking, hopefully conveying things to an audience. I try. And seeing media and interpreting it, because I really think that I'm okay at it, and I'm trying to get better. That's why all these books are here. So find your skills, the ones that you're happy to keep using, and they don't have to be that kind of skills. Maybe your skill is the physical creation of wood-carved objects. Do that. Maybe your skill is computer programming. Mine wasn't, but maybe yours is. If it is, then use that as a paintbrush that reshapes reality. Because every app that comes out that actually makes things easier for people to do something, or actually changes the way that people communicate in a positive manner, that's a paintbrush that reshapes the reality of the future. And that's really fucking cool. Or if your skill is painting or drawing or writing, then go all in on it. Invest yourself in yourself, and then turn that talent out toward the world, and stop being afraid of judgment, because every single one of those millions and millions and billions of humans out there, every one of them might judge you, and none of them matter. All that matters is what we do and what we create and what we do to and for the people around us. You do have the power to bring the people around you down, and you have the power to lift them up. And that power increases with every bit of reach that you gain, whether that's followers on Instagram or Facebook or YouTube or whatever, or whether that's just being more social and making more friends wherever you go. Or whether that's the fucking 12-year-old who's yelling at you over Call of Duty TeamSpeak. Whatever it is, you have the power to uplift people and to bring them down. Invest in your skills and then turn them outward toward the world and allow yourself to be judged, because fuck them. Because fuck them. But then take the judgment and use it. Use it to improve yourself. Use it as a tool. Because really, truly, the opinions of other people are almost entirely irrelevant to your life. And that's a powerful thing to realize, that each of those opinions is just as small and just as meaningless as your own. But you can grow your own into more meaning. And it doesn't have to be, you don't have to be Captain America. You don't have to be Tony Stark, Iron Man. You don't have to be a superhero. Just be a good person. Be excited by the world. It's contagious. But Haruhi isn't at that point. Haruhi is just in crisis, an ongoing crisis, and she is in melancholy. Flailing around, trying to find something interesting in her life. And she brings along Kyon, an ordinary person for some reason that she and no one else in the world has any idea of. That's where we're going to wrap for that episode. I'm going to take a breaky thingy because that was a lot, and we're going to move on to Melancholy 6. This is the final episode of the actual Melancholy arc. There is still Bamboo Leaf Rhapsody, and we'll see if we watch that. I'm not sure. Okay, see you in a moment. Peace. All right, welcome back. We're good to go for Melancholy 6, which is episode 14 in the broadcast order. Whatever. It's Melancholy 6, and it's the end of the Melancholy arc. I do want to say one thing before we get into it, because I just went and like grabbed some more tea and used the bathroom and stuff, and I had a thought, which is, if you are currently in the middle of an existential crisis, you're going to get out of it. Don't worry. Do so by drowning yourself in as many ideas as you possibly can, because your brain is going to latch onto some of them and put them together into a new worldview, which will enable you to move past this, and you will be okay. The second thing I'll say is that if you have never had an existential crisis, you should try it. It's healthy, and most people have them. Usually, like I think usually we get one when we hit adolescence, and then one when we go from adolescence more into adulthood and try to find our place in the world. And I think it's probably pretty healthy to have one every couple of years after that. I personally try to induce them in myself by drowning myself in as much media and information as possible. And I've talked about this before, but just trying to take my paradigm and viewpoint on the world and shatter it, break it down, incorporate new things into it, and rebuild it. It's been a little while since I've had one, and I certainly haven't had one at the same scale as the one that immediately preceded my creation of this channel, which was triggered by the death of my dog, and the lead into figuring out that I was going in the wrong direction for my own life and needed to be doing something else that actually gives me some kind of satisfaction in my own life. And I came to this, and it has been working since then. I think that a part of the reason that I haven't had another existential crisis is because this has been working for me. I've been able to eat for the last almost 2 years now, and I've been able to work constantly, and I like the work, and it's enjoyable, and I feel like I'm doing something. And I every once in a while still get comments of people telling me that what I'm doing matters to them, and that's amazing. But I think the reason that I haven't broken down again is because things are pretty much working for me. But I fully expect to at some point in the future, and we'll see how that goes. I don't think I'll end up turning away from what I'm doing, but it's quite possible. I would just say that having existential crisis like this, revelations, moments where you just feel the greatest, deepest despair at your own powerlessness in the world, I think is a very normal and healthy thing to have happen. And not something to be necessarily afraid of. So, to those of you who may be in that kind of state, or maybe simply depressed in a different way for different reasons, you got this. You might not feel like you got this, but you do. You have some power over your own life, even if it's only over your own actions. And I believe in you. So even if you don't believe in yourself, believe in the me that believes in you, please. Okay, that's all. I wanted to say that because I think it matters. And let's move on to Melancholy 6. Beep beep timer. Self-proclaimed. Kakare, kakare shoujo. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Why me? I'm just a person. なんてね。Be careful. Uh, it is still your world. Whoa! Forgot that you saw that. A mine? Alright, bud. False. False. She doesn't get troubled. Definitely not. Uh-huh. 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 Which is all a lie, so of course he feels like it's a lie. Uh-huh. Yep. She's in the club now. That's true. One of Suzumiya's. Uh-oh. Uh-huh. Ha! Ultra Director. Yes. Completely. Yep, you've got it. Cool. Hmm. Hmm. Fair enough. Depressing, though. It's all up to you. Hmm. Stop it. No, stop it. God damn it. Nope. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Oh, fuck. Delete it. Delete it. Bye. Bye. Ooh, angle. I mean, get the fuck out. Great. Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of solid. Oh, hi. Nope, just club. Just normal day at club. Yeah. Oh, that's actually an insane cut. Hold on. Wait, what? Maybe. No, she's seeking out some kind of reason. That's a problem, isn't it? Boredom intensifies. Poor Mikuru is just terrified. Hmm. Normal. Wouldn't anyone agree? It's like the hair. The hair is not okay. She needs to keep changing it. Hello, child. Why are you in my room? Stop that. Stop that. Please don't run with them. Also, ask me before going through my stuff. Totally. So he's reading Hyperion now, right? Yeah. I love this shot. Uh-oh. Closed space. The melancholy has expanded. Just asking. Reaching a breaking point. Desiring an end. Nope, stuck at school. Baka. Jesus. No phones. I love that shot. Well, tea always helps. Instantly burns his mouth on purely hot tea. Great question. Well then. Oh, hi. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. This is different. She's not satisfied. The end. Whoosh. That face again. Empty. The opposite of a place with so many people. Now that is an interesting question. Hmm. Wait, what? Hmm. Oh, geez, please no. But a different one. Hmm. Hmm. Goodbye, Itsuki. Turn on the computer. Communication. Possibility for evolution has been lost. Uh-oh. Time to destroy this world. I am betting on you. Everything. Aww. Oh. Oh. Sleeping Beauty must be awakened by the princes. Uh-oh. That's a giant. Ah. Wow, what music? How very Jurassic. Oh, he's so into it. That's right. It's so cool. Totally interesting. The thing that will make a new and interesting world. Running time. Music. Yes. Well, evil isn't the word. Her own fascination with her own caused destruction. How interesting, how unique. Why would I? This is so weird and neat. Why not? None of it matters. It all matters. It all matters. Right. Again, looking forward to tomorrow. The real them in the real world. And we break. I don't know if I want that. Why would I want that? It's boring. It's normal. Hmm. Oh, yeah. Don't end it before it begins. Wake up. So, yes. Who are they to you? All of these times couldn't possibly be. I've got chills. Okay. Back from the first, yep. Yes. But boom. Welcome, snap back to reality. Oh, there goes. I'm sorry. I mean, was it a dream though? No way to know. Ponytail. Did you now? Oh. Normalcy, eh? Also recreated, yes. But it doesn't seem to have been. It's a pretty interesting world, isn't it? I'd rather be in this interesting world too. Especially if there's love here. uh, it was a part of it, wasn't it? Uh-oh. So I brought you more. Hmm. Really? How odd. What a coincidence. Wonder maybe God didn't want them all to interrupt her fucking date. Who knows? Hell yeah. Bam. So there's one word here. It's all about love, baby. It's just like the under red line. It's all about love. So I think, yes, the Asahina stuff does have something to do with it because of Haruhi's mild jealousy. And she explodes this world. We awaken in a dream and find ourselves in a gray, gray world, and Haruhi is fascinated by it. The contrast between her expression and the music that's occurring in the horrifying scene of destruction that we see in front of us is one of my favorite things in the show. It works so well and it evokes so much for me. I just love it. Um, the simple use of Kyon, like why is Kyon there? The answer has always been because Haruhi has been interested in him. And he is the only human person that she's been interested in because, admit it or not, care about it or not, she is romantically interested in him and becomes more so as the series progresses up to this point. And so he is the one tie to normal reality that she actually cares about. And that's what he is. And by making the move that he makes and kissing Sleeping Beauty, he snaps her out of this dream where she has a nightmare that the real world is nightmarish, and so decides to destroy it. And he snaps her out of it into a reality, and it has an impact on her. His love affects everyone, especially her. That's a cool thing because his actions are on the micro level. They're not on the world altering god power level. The real hero here is not Haruhi Suzumiya, the character who we find out after her existential crisis has the actual power to control this world. The power is in Kyon, the person, the normal one, the human one, the one with no power, and yet all of the ability to change the way that other people see the world and to completely change someone else's life. If each person out there is as conscious as every other person, and if the anthropic principle or the observational principle are in existence and are real, then the ability of one person to change the life and the worldview of another person is reshaping the entire world. It fully is. And that's what happens here. Love is powerful. Love binds us together and binds us to this world. And not in any restrictive way, but in a powerfully freeing and valuable way. That's cool as hell. Okay, there's a cut at 5:15 that I just want to see again because it's Haruhi braiding some hair and it's fucking awesome. Mikuru-chan. Just this. It's on 3s. Oh no, sometimes it's on 2s. 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It's so good. How is it on 2s and 3s? What? That's fucking awesome. Okay, anyway, that's a really cool cut. Welcome to the gray world. All of this stuff and the spirals are reminiscent of the SOS Brigade logo. The gray world sucks. Haruhi is scared and also just intrigued by this place. Kyon's response faces to Itsuki stuff are wonderful. Nagato's last communiques are fantastic. The scenes of them running around this place, running away from the giants as Haruhi smiles, and we have this deeply dramatic, like scary kind of music. Music going are wonderful. And this divide, this break, weren't you fed up with that boring world? No. Interesting things were just happening, and they were all happening because I met you. We get all of these fascinating and fantastic scenes of all of the moments that they've shared together and all the moments that he's been watching Haruhi and becoming intrigued by this most intriguing person. And it all builds to wham, whoosh, and awaken. Most of the meat of the philosophy and the thinking and stuff is in the previous episode. And so this one just resolves all of those things in a really fantastic way that I really like. It doesn't grapple with the ideas so much as giving like a specific mode of action that helps here, which is in this specific story is kissing her and is the romantic interest, but in a broader sense is just expressing your feelings towards someone. And those feelings aren't necessarily romantic, but expressing that you care about someone. The world matters, and I don't want to leave it because you're in it, and I'm in it, and we can be together in it, and that's good. Platonically or romantically, doesn't matter. There's value here. There are interesting things happening because there are us happening. There are people happening. And that's, I think, a really cool way of taking the micro and letting it influence the macro. I think that's really neat, and I like the episode a lot. Yeah. I like the pair of episodes a lot. I think of all of the episodes of the first season of Haruhi Suzumiya, the previous episode is the one that I find by far the most interesting, and the most like value rich. Although it only presents the problem and then the solution that's presented is given to us later in this episode, I still think the previous one is the one that evokes a lot of and causes a lot of thinking in my mind about what the issues are and how they could potentially be solved. And I think that's really cool. This episode, as a wrap for the entire season, is really great. And as a wrap for that story arc portion is also really great. And I like it a lot. Okay, so we're going to watch one more episode, and the reason we're going to do that is because there's one more episode to watch before Season 2 begins, and Season 2 kicks off with E8. And I haven't decided what I'm going to do about that yet. I'm just not sure yet. We're going to watch some subset of those, I think, but I don't know which. I'll look into it and I'll decide. We have one more episode. And the reason that we're going to watch it here and watch it last is because it's Tanabata. And having a festival-ish episode at the end of a KyoAni show is just the way that things should be, and that's the way that the world should work and the way that reality should exist, and so we're watching that episode now. There's also the Live Alive episode. We will be watching that near the end of the second season, I think. Cool. I'm going to take a breaky thingy, do a sinky thingy, and be back in a second for Bamboo Leaf Rhapsody. So I'll see you in a moment for that. Peace. All right, welcome back. We're good to go for Bamboo Leaf Rhapsody. This is technically like the first broadcast order episode of season 2. It's weird, but this is the one that we're going to watch, and we're going to watch it. Let's watch it. Beep beep timer. Welcome to season 2-ish. Chigao. It's not a Tanjobi. It's not a birthday. Stop it. Ow. Yes. It's punishable by fines and maybe death. I love that. The expressiveness of that cut. That's fun. 7, 8, 9. Cool. Everything's normal. Nothing's normal. Thank you for the tea. What book is that? Uh, Mengo. Whoops. Hmm. Ha ha ha. God, that's a lot of points. Sure. Sure. Wham. You shut the fuck up. Yeah, it just ignore the speed of light on the return trip. No problem. Yeah, they go out the window when gods are involved. That is an interesting way to do the wishes. But you can still have wishes for yourself. Not this one. Yes. I'm watching you. Reformation. World peace, family harmony. Nice. I want the earth to rotate backward and the world to revolve around me. Cool. All right, see you in 16 years. Show's over. It is indeed. Wait, no melancholy? No. No getting depressed, Haruhi. It's gonna literally destroy the world if you do. Stop it. Because of the difficulty of wishes coming true. Bye. Okay. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Didn't look at Nagato's note. Ha. I mean, it's a little weird. Well, so cute. Such a problem. So not fair. Cool shot. Yeah, totally. Totally. Huh. Woof. Woof. Woof woof. I love that cut. The one at the weird angle where he whips up. That's fun. Of course. Of course. Yeah, it's all good. You could try. Ha. How can you prove that? Yep. Meh. Oh, good night. This was not what I planned for. Nope. Hi. Stop touching yourself. It's weird. Weird paradox shit. Cool. Ah. Yeah. Yep. Yep. Also, I don't know if you're but yeah, I don't know if getting consent from your future self really counts. But okay. Bye. 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 This is weird. Hello, baby Haruhi. The fuck you want, boy? Says the person climbing a fucking fence. Yeah. Definitely Haruhi. I'll call the cops on you for not helping me trespass. Great. The way she walks. It certainly should. Why? Hmm. You're too stupid to do this on your own, obviously. You wouldn't be terribly wrong. How do you answer this now, Kyon? Yeah. I mean, I guess. Hmm. Real disorder. Ha, boring. Well, I'm actually just a person who knows you. Hmm. Mm-hmm. Indeed. There really is. And that's why she goes to North High, huh? That is 100% why. Fuck. Time weirdness is weird. Bye. I love the way that she runs down the stairs. Nope. Meow. So fucking cute. Not okay. Huh? God damn it. Did her older self steal it? We're stuck 3 years in the past and we can't meet anybody. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Yep. Stuck in time, eh? Yes. Which means there was probably a reason for it. Which means that there's some way to get back. Ah, Nagato's note. I'm from the future? I'm from the future. Hi. With glasses. Oh, those are the symbols. Literally contacts aliens. Crazy cool. Brrr. Oh, that's so weird. It's like you sync up your phone with your PC, you know? Like, wow, just chilling here. Well, she's an alien. That's all there is to it. No, that's the best we've got. Okay. I'd rather know more than that if I'm going to be transported through time by you, but okie dokie, I'll take your word for it. We got separate futons. It's all good. Nothing more. I mean, yeah. Definitely no mutual attraction and awkwardness here. None at all. Indeed. Okay, come on. You're in separate beds. Chillax, guys. Oh, a little bit of an incantation, maybe. You have switched times. Welcome back. Adjusts to the time plane. We back, baby. We back, baby. Whew. Oh. Yeah. Just on you guys. That's so fucking cool. And it also sets up so much stuff that's happening. Ah! You were right out there, and you were right in here. That's so crazy. Ah! That's still the coolest fucking thing. That's so cool. Sure. Sure. Love the reflections on the eyes. Ah, the old faded memo. Once Haruhi created it, it was. I am here. There's that feeling and that desperate desire to be recognized by the universe. Ah. Yeah, you're in an important position now. Mm-hmm. Oh, totally. Totally. Totally possible. Yeah, but it's just the next day. Because time travel. It's weird. 3 years ago, Tanabata. John Smith, eh? Yeah. Shh. So then how did you freeze time and let us... Was it superfluous? Yep. Yep. Shit. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense to me neither. What did you just say? True enough. Books. Hmm. King and Queen. Oh, poor boy. You poor thing. You might not have a choice in that matter. Uh-huh. No fall. I think that's cool. Is this a Yamada directed ED? Or OP? Or whatever it is? I think it is. It might be. Boom. I'm actually just gonna check. The first thing I'm gonna check is I'm gonna go to the next episode and see if that's the OP or the ED. Nope. Okay, that's the OP. This is the ED. Okay, who did that ED? Haruhi Season 2 Mal. Or, no, ANN, not Mal. ANN. It's Yasuhiro Takemoto on ED2. And OP2. Okay, cool. It's not Yamada. Yamada only directs one episode and it's in a while. Cool. Good to know. All right, I like this. This is fun. It introduces a lot of things that will become it'll become obvious why they're relevant to be introduced at this point once we get into the E8, which is starting next time. Also brings up a bunch of thematic ideas around time travel and influence of reality and history and stuff. To me, this is the point where we resolve the first conflicts of the show and sort of lock everything in, and now we can start experimenting and having a lot of fun with the idea that there are actually time travelers and espers and aliens around, and we get to use a bunch of them to make things interesting in this episode. Some things that I notice as we switch from season 1 to season 2 is the use of lighting. It's not a dramatic improvement or change, but the use of lighting in different framings is more interesting. Like this shot of Haruhi is interesting to me, and more so than a lot of previous shots have been. There are also a bunch of little snappy moments of quick animation used as reaction shots that are more than there were in the the first season, but not dramatically so. And I think that a lot of KyoAni shows, more modern KyoAni shows, go way further in that direction, where the individual compositions and stuff are less interesting, and then the reactions are more bombastic. And I'm not sure if I necessarily like that or dislike it. It's just something to notice. Okay, same place, same bench. The way that they actually instigate and create time travel with the fade out and wake up here, and then the next one that's so different when Yuki does it to us / for us, super fascinating. Seeing young Haruhi and catching all these little bits of information that we know have affected her as she's changed, specifically the North High thing, are also really cool. Now I'm just going to look at this and just sort of embed what it looks like inside my head. And then I'm going to go to the point where we look at Yuki's drawing. Doobie-doo, squibbly-squoo, squibbly-doo. I think they are the same. Yeah, they are. Okay, cool. That's what I thought. So Haruhi Suzumiya invents an alien language, and then it becomes the alien language, sends an idea to the integrated thought entity, which it turns out is also the thing that answers Tanabata requests, maybe. And we get sent back in time and then pop back into reality. It's cool. This adds some layers of funness to what's already happened, gives us some fodder to start thinking about things in terms of simultaneous and parallel times and weirdness and stuff, and resets and reintroduces all of the primary concepts introduced in the first season. What with lines like, "We all know that Haruhi is the all-encompassing god of this world," which is just sort of casually said and thrown out there because we do know that. We are completely aware of that being the thing. It's a lovely episode. I think it looks really good. It nails time travel as an interesting and weird thing in a certain couple of cases, and has some cool character interactions around Haruhi and everybody else. Also, having Kyon and Asahina be cute and like never gonna happen, but there is definitely some interest there, is kind of cute in a weird romantic way as well. I like this episode. It fully pales in comparison to the two-part finale that we watched immediately before it, so I don't know if I necessarily think that watching it right now was the best decision that I've ever made, but that's okay. It gives us a clean slate to move into the E8 next time. Again, I don't know how we're going to do with that. I don't know how we're going to handle the E8. We shall see. I'm just not sure. I'm not sure what I want to do. I'm not sure if I want to watch all of them, and if I want to watch all of them, do I want to record all of them and put them all up, or like spend time editing them down, or what? I don't know. But I'll figure it out sometime over the next week, and we will watch the E8 or some portion of it next week. For now, these episodes of Haruhi Suzumiya, specifically the first two that we watched, the Melancholy 5 and 6, are powerful things with a lot of ideas in them, and those ideas are the kinds of ideas that have genuinely lodged in the back of my brain and influenced the way that I have lived my life. And that's an interesting thing that I can't say about every anime, and I certainly can't say about every episode of every anime, but those episodes have stuck with me in a way that simultaneously adds to the value of this show for me, but also transcends it, because the value of those moments and those thoughts and ideas, while they come from Haruhi Suzumiya, they expand outward from this show and impact a whole lot of other things about the way that I see the world, and that is really fucking cool. That's where we're gonna wrap. I've been Teeaboo. This has been Haruhi. See you next time for more Haruhi. Peace.